Zero-cost hosting tiers work well when you're spinning up an MVP. Platforms like Render give you 750 free hours a month to launch without a credit card. But that free compute goes dormant, introducing a specific limitation. It's the hibernation policy, a resource management strategy that effectively pauses your application. After a user leaves, the clock starts. At exactly 15 minutes of idle time, the platform cuts resources, forcing a sleep state. When the next user arrives, the platform re-provisions a container, causing a 60-second cold start delay. In a browser, 60 seconds is an eternity. Most users will assume the lint is broken and bounce before the page even flickers. This creates an operational choice: pay for a dedicated server immediately, or use a technical workaround to keep your free tier awake. Saving $25 a month on hosting loses its value if that delay costs your first impression with every new user. One upgrade path is usage-based billing, with Railway as the standard example. Railway charges per minute for the CPU and RAM you actually consume. Your code deploys in under 90 seconds, and if the service idles, your costs drop toward zero. However, this model has architectural limits. Horizontal scaling, adding more containers for traffic spikes, is a manual process. Additionally, a strict 5-minute request timeout will kill long-running tasks like database migrations or large file exports. The other path is the instance-based model, which is how Render structures its paid tiers. Render manages horizontal scaling automatically based on traffic load and allows request timeouts of up to 100 minutes. For a steady SaaS product, that hands-off reliability is often the primary selling point. The trade-off is higher overhead. Builds are slower than Railways, and you pay a fixed monthly fee for the instance even during low traffic periods. This comparison shows the necessary compromise. Upgrading your host forces a choice between the deployment speed of Railway and the background task stability of Render. Because both paid paths require these structural trade-offs, Bootstrap teams often look for ways to make free-tier hosting viable for as long as possible. The most common workaround is to use a basic uptime monitor to keep the app active. These services typically send a simple HTTP request to your homepage every 5 minutes to check for a 200 OK status. But dumb pings often fail. Standard 5-minute intervals can be ignored as bot traffic, failing to reset hibernation timers. Your dashboard reports 100% uptime because the monitor wakes the server, while actual users still suffer 60-second cold starts. Basic monitoring confirms if a server is dead, but it rarely detects if a server is asleep. For cold start prevention, it's an unreliable tool. To bridge this gap, you need a tool designed for PaaS optimization, specifically a high-frequency engine like PulseForge.buzz. This engine uses staggered 30-second monitoring intervals, rather than a predictable 5-minute rhythm. By varying the timing and keeping the frequency high, the traffic mimics continuous active usage. This prevents the host from ever reaching the 15-minute idle threshold required to trigger hibernation. Direct these micro requests to an isolated health endpoint to validate server activity without loading main application logic. If routed through heavy database queries, you'll spike CPU limits, and the host may suspend your account. When configured correctly, this setup allows a zero-cost free tier to deliver the same instant responsiveness as a paid production server. The right combination for your stack depends on your traffic volume and your team's deployment frequency. For a bootstrapped MVP, the priority is minimizing costs while you validate the product. You need a professional user experience without a monthly bill. In this case, pair the Render free tier with a high-frequency anti-sleep engine. You get 0 cold starts for $0 in hosting fees. For an agile development team, you're deploying multiple times a day, and your traffic is inconsistent. Railway is the better fit here. You get maximum iteration speed and usage-based billing, which is often cheaper than a fixed instance when your app is frequently idling. Finally, for a revenue-generating SaaS, you have zero tolerance for latency and need hands-off scaling. At this stage, upgrade to Render Pro and pair it with enterprise-grade monitoring. This configuration provides a 99.9% uptime SLA and ensures horizontal scaling handles traffic spikes automatically. Efficient infrastructure management isn't about choosing the most expensive plan. It's about applying your budget directly to the tool